Ground-based air defenses remained a potent threat to aircraft in the lead-up to World War II, 1939 to 1945. As such, there remained a focus on acquiring high-altitude bomber types by the major military players of the period, platforms that could fly higher than ground-based defenses could reach and stay out of the grasp of pesky interceptors attempting to knock the bomber out of the sky. Twin-engined aircraft forms, became the normal arrangement for medium-class types, and the United States had no shortage of stellar twins before the war drew to a close in 1945. By this time in history, the Glenn L. Martin Company, Martin, was a storied, long-running established player for the United States military, supplying all manner of aircraft from the World War I, 1914 to 1918, period onward. For the latter part of the 1930s, the company was deeply involved in work on a new twin, a medium bomber of considerable capability which flew for the first time on November 25, 1940 and was ultimately accepted into service with the United States Army Air Forces, USAAF, in 1941 to become the famous B-26 Marauder, the medium bomber seeing action throughout World War II and beyond. Two major developments sprung from the B-26 initiative, the Model 182, becoming the XB-27, and Model 190, proposed as a Super Marauder. The Model 182, the focus of this article, was proposed to USAAC/USAAF authorities as a high-altitude, medium-class bomber which was slated to retain much of the form and function that made the B-26 such a success in service. The design was aerodynamically refined, as expected, with a glazed-over nose cone section, stepped cockpit, and single-finned tail unit. A modern tricycle undercarriage would aid in ground running and related actions. Each main plane would be mounted at shoulder height along the fuselage sides and carry underslung nacelles, each engine driving multi-bladed propellers in tractor-puller fashion. The main planes were envisioned with a swept-back leading edge and straight-lined trailing edge while sporting rounded tips. The primary crew workspaces were contained in the nose, tail, cockpit, and midsection, the crew complement numbering 7 and including 2 pilots, seated side by side under a framed canopy space, a bombardier, and several dedicated machine gunners. The expected high-altitude operations of this aircraft required it to have pressurized workspaces for the crew. The aircraft called to operate at altitudes in excess of 30,000 feet. Structural dimensions included a running length of 60.8 feet with a wingspan of 84 feet. Height was 20 feet and loaded weight would have reached around 33,000 pounds.